Welcome everybody to I almost said Advantage in Paradise. Welcome everybody to our Jasper's Game Day one shot. We're all very much so awesomely excited to be here for a great cause. I'm sure a lot of you have been watching throughout the weekend and the week, so you kind of know the deal. Donating to the cause can get you excellent boons that you can hand off to the players, or some wild things that you can throw into the game that might throw things a little off, especially for myself or even the players. So as we're playing, feel free to do so. Or if you just want to donate to support a good cause, toss some money towards a great cause. All right, real quickly, before we jump into the session, if everyone would like to introduce themselves and maybe who they're playing, feel free to. So why don't I'm going to go off of the stream. Let's start with Martin.
Hi, I'm Martin. My pronouns are he, him. And I will be playing Ben, who is a close childhood friend of the character that we're going to deal with, and he's going to be a Valor Bard.
Yes, yeah, definitely give everyone your classes so they know what they're getting into. All right, Shannon, why don't you go next?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Shannon. I am from Paradise RPG along with Sean. I will be playing Rena this evening, our party wild magic sorceress. And I am a Elysian elf, which is a homebrew elf of Sean. So hope I don't fuck it up. Screw it up. I hope I don't screw it up. Sorry.
You took our one.
I did. I'm sorry.
5 seconds.
I'm writing.
5 minutes in, less than 5 minutes in.
I'm writing a sticky note right now. Next person, please.
Okay, Jared, why don't you introduce yourself?
So my name's Jared. I am half of Arcane Spectacles, usually more of the behind the scenes. My wife and I kind of work on that, and we do all kinds of tabletop, nerdy accessories. It's very much like a passion project, so we kind of just do whatever we feel like doing. I'll be playing Rufric Windbelt, and he is a artificer dwarf. And it's my first time playing an artificer and a level 14 character. So this is going to be interesting.
Yes, tonight our players are playing at 14th levels, so we should be seeing some pretty powerful stuff. All right, thank you, Jared. PB Smitty, why don't you go next?
All right, I am Smitty, aka PB Smitty. You can usually find me playing Tuesdays on Geek Attack. I am playing the War Pastor Zachariah, a half-orc war cleric.
Thank you. And Live in Pink, why don't you go next?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jen. My life is basically making games and then streaming games and then playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's like the three main thing. I work at Compulsion Games as a producer, and then I stream, and then I play D&D. That's it. So my character is Mira Chirdala. I am the sister of Rena, which is Shannon's character. I'm her older sister. I am an elf wizard illusionist. I'm pretty excited to get the 14th level illusionist. I never played with that. That seems wild. That's me.
Excellent, thank you. Marcus, why don't you go next?
Okay, cool. So I'm Marcus. I'm playing a level 14 fighter. I'm just a basic soldier, bodyguard type. This is also my first time playing with a level 14 character, so this should be fun.
Excellent. And last but not least, Carl.
Right. Yeah, my name is Carl Nelson, and I am playing Ethier, a elf who is the sort of court spymaster and advisor. And this is where we go, Sean, right?
I have a brief thing, and then I'll lead you in. All right, folks. So let's just get into some D&D. So let me set the scene. Before I jump into it, this is taking place on my homebrew world that we play in over at Paradise RPG, where Shannon and I stream from. The homebrew world is called Aradun. Only a few things to note. The world has incredibly harsh winters that last a very long time due to the sun being eclipsed for 4 months out of the year. Our party is kind of racing against that clock in the session today. And actually, I guess that's the only thing, really. All right. So it is late. Each day the sun sets earlier and the eclipsing long dark draws nearer. When the gas giant in the sky, Vero, swallows the sun for the winter drear to come, gloom will take over the land. But war still rages between the nation of Sivia and Oxlin. Tonight, a gentle autumn snow flurries over the quiet, somber streets of the capital city of Oxlin, Caerdolan. The chandlers light the lanterns as the blankets of snow conceal once mud-soaked streets of the lower district, the Sprouts. Children toss snowballs, ignorant to the gloom in their parents' eyes due to the war. The snow dances up to the lights in the gilded halls of the Willowick Promenade and the more wealthy, and even higher still into the castle above, to the highest rise, Uthern's spire. These snows flurry and bustle in through an open window and melt against the roaring fire in the heart of the council chambers where you all stand. You each feel the shudder of this autumn breeze as a servant closes the windows. You have been gathered here by Spymaster Aether.
Welcome all. The Lord Regent tasked me with bringing together a fellowship of sorts. Despite the gloom of our country's loss, there is still a war to be fought. With the assassination of our good Empress Rowena, there now stands one who can claim the throne. Our future emperor, Prince Wesley, whom we all know was kidnapped 2 months ago by the Sylvains. You have been summoned, chosen, perhaps for your prowess, your service to your country, your devotion, or your great love for our Empress. This is Captain Cooper Baronhardt, our guide for the journey ahead.
And you see a tall, he wears the armor of a soldier, but he doesn't look particularly strong or powerful. He looks more lanky and wiry. He has dirty blonde hair that's swept back with a face that's somewhat clean shaven. He's leaning up against the wall of right by the fire as he kind of kicks himself off the wall with a smirk, looking to each of you. Right. Well, as Aether said, the spy master here, we got a dangerous mission ahead of us. So I figured we'd talk a little bit about who all of you are. Now I've read the dossier that Aether has provided me, spy master here. Now over here, I like to call you two the Night Sisters. From what I hear, this one, Short Top here, likes to blow crap up. Not entirely on purpose.
Definitely not on purpose.
This one here, her older sister, has a penchant for hiding it. I'm covering that up. So, Shannon, if you would describe your character.
Yes, absolutely. So you see standing there, this is Rena, and she's tall, but her sister Mara is taller than her, just by a little bit. It's been a point of contention throughout the years. Rena has short black hair. It's messy, super messy, really, really long, pointed ears. Right now they are not really doing much. They're just kind of hanging out. They're a little more up than usual because she's not really sure what's going to happen right now. So she's just on alert. She's wearing just pretty simple garb. She's got on a short brown jacket with like a blue tunic and simple brown pants and boots on. And she's just standing there, and she looks over at Mara with eyes that are completely black except for the pupil, which are bright orange. And she looks over at her sister and says, "Do you have any idea what we're going on right now? I don't really want to be here."
Well, I thought you signed up with me to go save the baby of Princess Rowena.
No.
Yes. You got into trouble, and then to get you out of trouble, you promised to stick with me while I check on you, and then we would go rescue the baby.
Well, that
and you would not do wild magic.
Well,
Yeah.
that I can't help that.
Sisterly love for sure. Hey, Shannon, can you roll me a D100 since we already
Already?
have a wild magic surge that
Oh
was
my
donated?
God.
And it's perfect because it's right during the wild sorceress's introduction. Fireballs the entire
You got
room
it.
right away.
I need a D100. All right, here we go. That would be a 50, right down the middle.
50.
Oh my God.
So as your sister is scolding you, you feel that surge tingling behind your ears. You know it's coming. And then as you're pouting at your sister, you go to retort, and these pink bubbles just start to float out of your mouth. Well, I doubt that's as strange as it gets. All right. Now over here, and he nods his head over to Elliot and Zachariah. He points to Zachariah. Here we've got someone who, from what I understand, down in the barrack, we call him the war pastor. Now, whatever you do, just stay out of his way, and definitely do not insult his god, or your head will be smashed within 2 seconds. If you'd like to describe your character, Smitty.
Sure. So you see a shade over 6 feet tall, hulking half orc, clad in full plate mail, dinged, scarred to all hell, sigils carved on it. He's got a shield and warhammer across his back. He's got a number of large necklaces that disappear beneath his armor. He's got a close-fitting kind of red cap over his head and a few scars on his face as well. Now, I have to agree. If y'all step out in front of my warhammer, you will get a sermon that you will not forget when I do preach to you about my Lord and Goddess.
Like I said, keep out of his way. And standing right next to him is someone I've served with for many months. Elliot, why don't you describe yourself?
So Elliot's barely over 6 foot tall, bulkier, tan-skinned guy, bald head, a few scars here and there on his shoulders, wearing medium armor, it has a shield and a longsword on his back.
Excellent. And you see Captain Cooper looks over to the dwarf, and then here we've got the personal fixer of the royal family. Spends most of his days de-denting breastplates, expanding breastplates, fixing whatever gets broken in this castle. But don't let the blue collar fool you. This man is a bona fide genius. If you'd like to describe your character, Rufric.
Yeah, so Rufric is about 212 years old. He is a dwarf, about average height and weight. He has a gray beard and gray hair, and it's like crazy. Super just all over the place, not kept at all, like mad scientist, just crazy hair. He is pretty geared up. He has like chainmail on, a lot of different knickknacks and things attached to his belt. He has a bag of holding at his side. But the thing that stands out most is he has a shield that has kind of a metal frame, and it has a bunch of kind of wooden gears in it that are kind of moving that he has on his back. And hey, Rena, I think I have something for you. I think I can fix what you have going on there. So he's ruffling through his bag of holding, looking for something.
Okay. So while you're doing that, as Captain Cooper looks around, you all hear a bit of a shuffling by the door behind you all, as you see kind of peeking in is a young man that you have not seen before. Ben, if you'd like to describe yourself. Oh, you're muted.
Forgot to unmute myself. The young man that is peeking in is a lot younger than the rest of you seem to be. He is probably in his late teens, and has neck-long black hair, a charming, if somewhat uncertain smile at the moment, and rather captivating green eyes. He looks, however, like he had a couple of rough days or weeks. He's rather pale, and the stubble on his chin and jaw is more than a few days long. He's wearing a blackened armor underneath a really nicely cut woolen cloak, and has a long bow on his back, as well as a long ornate horn that he's carrying with him. And he is just looking inside and then squeezing through the door, if he isn't in yet, and closes it behind him.
And who do we have here?
I am Ben. I will be accompanying you.
And you see Captain Cooper kind of looks over at Aether, like, do you know this guy?
Yes, it is a helpful assurance to the prince.
All right, Ben. Well, welcome to the team. Please stay out of the way when we get into some dangerous territory. So, kind of all of you looking around, this is the team. Captain Cooper kind of steps into the center of the room and just says some final words. All right, well, if you haven't heard already, it is understood that the Sivians are holding Prince Wesley up in Bathilder's Pike. It's pretty far north. It's some pretty rough terrain, right deep behind enemy lines. So this is not going to be a fun trip. This is not going to be a comfortable trip. And you're probably going to be putting some of those blades to use. So I suggest you get yourselves a good night's rest, pray to your gods, and tomorrow morning we will set forth for Bathilder's Pike. When we get there, we'll have to infiltrate whatever fortifications they are, and then the hard part is getting home before the long dark starts. At that point, temperatures will be so cold, we'll be lucky if we even make it back. So get yourself some rest. We leave in the morning. And he nods to you all, and you may leave, or if you want to try to resolve Rena's bubble problem before we cut to the next scene.
Here, Rena, put this bracelet on. It should. I've seen this before. It should help.
I put the bracelet on.
You wait a few moments.
What does it do?
You feel it's kind of like tingly on the arm. Doesn't fix it though.
Oh.
I heard if you drink water.
All right. So you all retire to wherever quarters or home you have to rest before you move on for this journey. Over the next month, you arduously travel through the Sivian country. You are brought up by boat to the newly constructed fortress city of Moorbridge, which is the last bastion within Oxland before you enter into Sivian territory. It's there that you're let loose into the wilds. And Captain Baronhart brings you through the wilds. The main portion here is wetlands and marsh and moors. It is late autumn. By this point, you're approaching the winter, and it is arduous. You find yourself having trouble walking through the swamps, not knowing where the frozen ice is thick enough to trench over. And then once you're past this landscape, you're brought into what is a ferocious taiga Arctic style terrain. You see large, vast mountains covered with feet of snow. You are using whatever you can to push through. Camping out at night is just you trying to gather as much warmth as you can. And what we'll cut forward to, yeah.
Or we use Leomun's tiny hut and have a comfortable night, which I cast as a ritual every night.
Excellent. So you go through your days essentially having this rough time, and you're just all you're excited for, all you can't wait for is the tiny hut, because you know the tiny hut's going to be like a 4-star hotel to you. But with these introductions and your arduous journey, we're going to cut ahead into the middle of a fight. You've been marching through the snow for nearly a month. You know that you are at least a mile, maybe 2 miles from Bathilder's Pike. You're in the forests around tall evergreen trees all around you. The sky is dim and dark, even though it is probably only noon. You look up to the sky, and through the overcast, you can see that the sun is approaching that near full eclipse, as you only have a month till the long dark. An arrow flashes through the forest and hits into a tree right by Zachariah's head. Another arrow flings off and just barely skitters off of the armor of Elliot, as you see a patrol of Civian soldiers have surrounded you. I need everyone to roll initiative.
And I will say, I have a hand crossbow of warning, so none of us can be surprised while I'm not incapacitated.
You fully knew that they were coming. You saw them before they came. It's more of a situation where you were pretending like you didn't know they were going to come. And since you are not surprised, there are 5 soldiers. One, you see someone kind of in the background who looks to be weaving some magical spells as the fight starts. And then you can see behind that person, behind the mage, is a fully grown frost giant. All right. So 20 to 25 on initiative.
23.
23. Okay. All right. 15 to 19.
15.
19.
All right. 10 to 14.
10.
12.
All right.
14.
Shannon, what'd you get?
7.
I told you to pay attention. Jeez.
I was paying attention.
All right. So there are the 5 soldiers are closing in around you. They are within kind of the melee range of you all. The mage is probably about 30, 40 feet away, and the giant has not entered the fight yet. It is staying by the mage. So starting off in our initiative order, we have Aether. Rufric, you're on deck.
Aether will take a step back, place a hand on Elliot, and whisper sort of an encouraging word, giving a bardic inspiration to Elliot. And then will look at the mage and sort of shout out, "Cower down, you!" and cast command.
Ooh, okay. All right. Excellent. All right. So what kind of saving throw is that?
That is a wisdom save, DC 17.
17. All right. Does not pass. All right. I'm going to use that disadvantage for the DM on the next roll because he already failed it. All right. So what did you command him to do again?
Cower, essentially.
Cower. Okay. And that lasts for 1 round or a certain amount of time?
On his turn, he takes that as his action and
Excellent.
and then ends his turn.
All right. Perfect. Anything else with here?
No. Maybe
right.
step away a little bit and let Elliot do the job.
Yeah. I imagine we've got Elliot and Zachariah kind of on the exterior, maybe with Ben there as well, while the rest of you are kind of in the middle. Excellent. All right, Rufrick, you're up, and then Elliot, you're on deck.
So the 5 that are there, are they pretty close to each other?
So if you all are kind of like clustered together, they're like there's 3 on one side of you all and 2 on the other, and they're kind of trying to come in to flank you.
Okay. So I'm going to attempt to cast Grease and maximize kind of what the area. So either the 3 or the 2 or kind of both, if that works. So I'm going to reach into my bag of holding and I pull out this kind of bagpipe looking contraption and I squeeze kind of the bag part, and then all this goo sprays out. And I'm going to try to hit as many as I can, whether it's the group of 3 or the group of 2, or if they're close enough. It's like a 10-foot area. So
totally, I'd say you can get 2 from either side. So if you want to just do the whole 2 on one side, or just 2 of the 3 on the other side.
Let's do the 2 on the one side.
All right. So you spray this grease-like substance out, and it scatters before the feet of these 2. It's a 10-foot square, and all right, let me make dexterity saving throws. So I'll do. You know what? We got this disadvantage donation. I'll do disadvantage for both of these foolish soldiers coming at you guys. All right. So the first one, what's the DC? I mean, you got a natural 1, but just
17.
17. All right. So the first one definitely falls flat on his face, and the second one, rolling a 3 and a 4, does as well. So the grease splatters across the snow, and it's sort of weird because they're like, the grease is causing them to slip, but then they're also slipping further through the snow as they both fall backwards. And you almost see them almost fully disappear into the snow for a second before they kind of like shake off the snow and try to lift themselves up to come after you again. All right. Anything else, Rufrick?
I'll move towards the 2 that fell down.
Excellent. All right. Elliot, you are up. Warpaster, you are on deck.
All right. Since the other 2 have fallen in the grease, I'm gonna run towards the group of 3 and try to make a swing on the closest one.
You got it.
Let's see. Oh, that's not good at all. Does no? I'm pretty sure a 7 doesn't hit.
Oh, they've got the worst armor. These soldiers know that does not hit.
I'm gonna blame the snow on this one.
Yep. All right, so that's your first attack. All right.
All right, let's try and swing again then.
Go for it.
Oh, cool. 20.
Oh, yeah, that definitely hits.
Okay, let's see. And 10 damage.
Nice. All right, so you come rushing forward, full tilts, and it's just a little too much at first, and that snow kind of causes you to lose your stability. Your weapon goes sinking down, but then you bring it back up for a clean strike on this first soldier. Anything else, Elliot?
I think that'll be it.
All right, excellent. All right, Zachariah, you are up, and then it is the mage's turn, and then Ben is on deck after that.
Zachariah will run up to the other soldiers where Elliot is, shouting, "We eagerly welcome all new congregants to Mass." And I will pull out my Warhammer and swing at one of them.
Go for it. Do you want to attack the same one as Elliot or one of the other ones?
I will attack a different one.
All right.
25 to hit.
That
with,
definitely hits.
4 damage, which is amazing. And then I will also pump Divine Strike into that, which is 2d8
All right.
for an additional 15 damage.
Nice.
And then I will use War Priest to attack as a bonus action.
Go for it.
That is a 16.
16 does not hit.
Okay.
All right. All right. The mage is up, and he is going to cower. As that is, I'm pretty sure, all he can do for this turn. As you see, like, the soldiers who have not engaged with you yet, the one from the 3 kind of looks over, shocked and confused, as this formerly very intimidating looking mage with a tall staff with these icicle like crystals at the top, wearing these thick furs that hang down with these runic tattoos all over his face. And he kind of looks out stoically and then hears Aether shouting out at him his command, drops the staff and immediately drops to his knees with his hands behind his neck, cowering. The giant kind of just sort of looks down confused. But that is his turn. Ben, you are up. Mara, you're on deck.
How many can I get into a 30-foot cube without hitting Zachariah or Elliot with it?
You can get all 3.
All right. Ben pulls out his horn and lets his fingers dance over the ornate pattern on it, and then seems to wave his hand like he's finger painting something. And in a 30-foot cube, a pattern of colors and swirls starts to appear, and I'm casting Hypnotic Pattern on them.
Ooh, excellent. What type of saving throw is that?
That is Wisdom, DC 18.
Okay, Wisdom. All right. Those are both... all right, so one of them resists with a 19, but the other 2 fail with much lower. What happens?
The one that resists is not affected at all, but the other 2 just stare at that pattern. Their movement speed becomes 0, and they are considered incapacitated.
Excellent. So, Elliot and Zachariah, you came up and you started engaging with these 2 soldiers, and then suddenly, as you're about to prepare your next strike, or at least to resist their next attack, suddenly they both just sort of drop their weapons and start staring blankly in front of you, almost just completely hypnotized, one might say. As that same third one who looked confused at the mage is now looking even more confused at his compatriots. Anything else, Ben?
Yes, I'm shouting to the warpaster, "Hey, Priesterman, whack him good." You get a bardic inspiration. It's a 1d10, and it can also be used for damage roll or to buff up your AC.
Blessing most mighty.
Excellent. All right. Mara, you are up. And then the soldiers, and then Rena.
Sorry, that's me.
No problem.
Yeah, so we have 2 people incapacitated, right? Like they're staring at the hypnotic pattern.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we would want to attack that. So I'm gonna cast Phantasmal Killer.
Oh boy.
So I'm gonna pick one of those. Well, actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna cast it at the wizard. I'd like the wizard to be distracted.
Excellent.
Yes.
So, what is that? A saving throw?
It's 120 feet range, so it should be okay.
Absolutely.
It is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. He rolled a 12. He got a 12, so he fails.
Yeah. So what does he fear? What is the wizard's greatest fear? Because that's what pops up for him. I'd like to know.
Oh boy. Is this for Phantasmal Killer? Is this something that everyone can see, or is it just something you and the wizard know?
I think it's unfortunately just me and the wizard, probably.
Okay. So
but I'm gonna tell them though.
Oh, of course, of course. Does that deal damage?
Yes, it is 4d10 psychic damage on a failure.
Ooh, nice. All right, so go ahead and roll that while I decide what his greatest fear is.
4d10. That's I don't think I have that many dice. I'm gonna have to. Okay, let's see. Nope. Sorry, I'm not used to this many.
Absolutely. While you're rolling those, I'll talk
go
about
for
what
it.
his greatest fear is. So Mara, you would see this you see the illusory magic start to formulate around him as you see 4 painted jesters all surround him and start to just dance around him and get in his face. He fears clowns more than anything ever. He fears clowns more than death, more than battle, more than dying. As these 4 jesters just start to dance around him and swat him with with rubber chickens. I don't know, but his fear is jesters and clowns.
So as I say, I'm like, he's afraid of clowns. And he takes 18 damage.
18 damage. All right.
And I believe this will keep going for up to 1 minute or until he succeeds a save.
So he gets to roll again on his turn.
Every turn. Yep.
All right. Does it incapacitate him?
The clown is not gonna stop.
Oh boy. Yeah. A fun story. That was just me projecting my real fears onto this wizard. All right. So anything else, Mara?
I think that will be enough for now.
All right. So it is the soldier's turn. So the 2 are incapacitated. The other 2 are struggling to get themselves up from their prone position. Or they get themselves up from this prone position. So those 2 are both going to go for attacks on Rufric because he embarrassed them. All right. So that is going to be the first one comes running up with a spear, Rufric, and is going to go for 3 attacks on you. Right. Yeah. All right. So that is the first one is a 15.
Nope.
The second one's not going to hit either. And the third one is a dirty 20.
So I have 20, so.
Okay, so that'll hit then.
Yep.
All right, so he comes rushing forward with the spear. You kind of dance around it, the first 2 swipes, and then he brings it in and it kind of pinches through your armor to deal 7 points of piercing damage. And then the second one's going to come forward and he's going to strike at you with his short sword. The first attack is a 17, so that doesn't hit. Second attack is a 23, so that one will hit. And then the third attack is not going to hit. These guys are not doing too well. All right, so that is going to deal another 6 points of piercing damage. All right. On the other side of the battlefield, those 2 are incapacitated by this hypnotic pattern. They are staring at it and just standing there completely incapacitated. The third guy is looking around. He sees his commanding officer cowering in the snow. He sees his 2 compatriots just sort of staring off into nothing, and the other 2 are embarrassingly not able to hit this dwarf with their spears. He's going to look around, make eye contact with Zachariah, who I'm sure is snarling at him, and just be like, it's not worth it. Drops his weapons and starts running away. Rena, you are up. Before you do anything, though, give me a D100 roll because we got another wild magic.
Another one. That is a 79.
79. Where's
Oh, wait, no, sorry. I read that backwards. 95.
95.
95.
All right.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, did you?
I have the table up, yeah.
Oh, okay. I have too many tabs open.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
So, you and all creatures within 30 feet of you gain vulnerability to piercing damage for the next minute.
All right.
Yay!
So everyone's vulnerable to piercing damage.
Oh, wait, vulnerable. No, oh, shit. Darn.
Shannon.
I'm
Is
sorry.
your Post-it note up?
It is. It's right here. It's right there.
I have a question. 'Cause I do have counter spell as a reaction, and I want to know if I
So
can
do I.
spell my sister's my wild one sister.
I would say no, because it's more of
Okay.
a surge than a spell. Yes. So yeah, everyone, you're now vulnerable to piercing damage.
I thought that said. I don't know.
Do you think
thought
it said
was
invulnerable?
Yeah, honestly, I did. And that's not a word, it's resistance. So I guess I thought it was that.
Invulnerability is a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Rena, now it's your real turn.
Okay. How far away is the guy that's running?
He used his full. Well, actually, Zechariah, or not Zechariah. Ellie, you would get an attack of opportunity on that guy if you'd like.
Yes, let's do that. Let's see.
He'll be 60 feet away. Scarlet. Not Scarlet.
There's your one.
okay.
You need a sticky note for that.
I rolled
who you
a
are.
14.
14. That won't hit. So you go for a swipe.
Swing and a miss.
He missed because he slips in the snow and is crawling away at this point. But he uses full dash and his full movement to get away. So Rena, he is 60 feet away.
Is there another person nearby?
No.
Okay. All right.
He would have ran past the wizard and the giant. So they're they're about 20 feet away from him.
Got it. Okay. So I'm going to hand you my Tides of Chaos.
All right.
And I'm going to roll at advantage. I'm going to cast Firebolt on him for 120 feet. Try and stop him from running away. Oh, good thing for advantage. That would be a 29.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. I need 3d10. 1, 2. I'm not looking for them now. Okay. No, it's a 1. That's another one. Wait, I have a thing where I can re-roll damage die, right? I think I do.
I'm like,
Yeah, you have a sorcery. Yeah, you can spend sorcery
Yeah.
points to do that.
Good. I'm going to spend. I was just reading that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to re-roll 2 of those.
Go for it.
Oh my God! Same roll. Okay. So 10 plus 1 plus 7, 18 points of fire damage.
All right. You hit this guy in the back with some fire damage as that zips across through the battlefield, and you see kind of like the steam rushing from his back in the cold weather. He does trip and fall, but you do see him start to get himself back up to continue running. He is still alive. All right. That was anything else, Brenna?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. So it is the giant's turn, and then we are going to jump back to the start of the order with Aether. But this giant is going to now kind of look, and you see he shakes his head and sort of spits on the ground, and then kind of cracks his knuckles and picks up this massive axe and starts to slowly run into the battle, where he is going to immediately rush up to Zechariah and go for his attacks on you. All right, so that is a 28 and a 22.
Both of those are going to hit.
Okay. When your axe is that big, it tends to just hit things. All right, so that is going to be 25 points of slashing damage on the first attack, and 22 points of slashing damage on the second attack. And that's the giant's turn. He just comes up and brings that axe down onto Zachariah, knocking Zachariah around a little bit before we jump over to Aether.
Yes. Aether draws out a hand crossbow. It snaps open, takes aim at the giant, and fires. Ooh, that's a 12 to hit.
That is not going to
Doing
hit.
great, folks. And then bonus action will. Everyone's doing fine. So I am going to use my Inquisitive Rogue Insightful Fighting ability on the mage. So I make an insight check against a creature that you can see that isn't incapacitated, contested by that target's deception check. If I succeed, I can sneak attack them, even if the target, even if I don't have advantage, but not if I have disadvantage.
Okay, so they roll a deception check?
Yes.
All right. It's going to be with disadvantage because he's afraid of the jesters attacking him. Yeah, that's not. I guarantee you beat it. You rolled a 4.
Okay. All right. And then Aether will just sort of look for a slightly higher amount of snow and sort of shift to the side of it. And that's mine.
All right. All right, Rufric, you are up. Elliot, you're on deck.
All right, so I'm going to, Rufric will take his shield, and I've actually chosen to make my shield my infiltrator armor with the lightning launcher. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of those at the spear wielder.
All right, go for it.
So that is a 27 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
For 6 damage.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and do I get an extra attack as well, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again to the same person.
Go for it.
It's a 21 to hit.
Oh, that'll hit.
5 damage.
All right. So anyone spying over at Rufric would see the spear and sword just kind of both clashing against his shield, and then you sort of hear a slight charging sound, and then a quick as these two bright bolts of lightning fire out of it into the guard attacking him, or the soldier attacking him. All right. Anything else, Rufric?
No, I'll just continue to kind of hold the line.
All right, Elliot, you are up. Zachariah, you are on deck.
Alrighty. Am I in range of the giant right now?
You are. Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm going to try and use my 3 attacks on the giant then.
Go for
since he's literally the biggest threat. 2 16s and a 15.
Those all hit.
Oh, great. Okay. Let's roll damage now. More D6s. Let's see. So 22 damage.
22 damage. Nice. All right. Giant.
Also gonna add my bardic inspiration I got a while back.
Go for it.
That's an extra 2 damage.
All right, nice. You are chipping away at this giant with your sword.
Slowly but surely.
Absolutely. And, this giant is about, 15 feet tall as you're just sort of hacking away at its thigh, while it's just sort of slowly bringing its axe back up to smash down on you all. That is Elliot's turn. Zachariah, you are up, and then it is the mage's turn, and Ben is on deck.
Zachariah will kind of uncrook his arm after getting slammed twice by the giant and say, "Oh, Adria giveth and Adria taketh away." And I'll reach out and I'll bestow curse on the giant.
Right.
And I will go with, while cursed, the target must make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turns. If it fails, it wastes its action doing nothing.
Oh, nice. They're not wise. He's not that
Nope.
wise. All right, that is an 8, so I believe he is cursed. All right, so you see, anyone watching would see Zechariah, reach his hand out, touch the frost giant, and then sort of this pulse of light usher out and into the giant as it's sort of like thinking it's unsure why it's disoriented. Anything else, Zechariah? All right. So it is the mage's turn. Does Mara, does he make another saving throw for your phantasmal killers?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, he shall.
Ooh, I am going to start rolling a different dice because that is not good. That's a 9. So he is still terrified.
Yeah, and I think he takes another 4d10. Is that possible? That's like super strong. Yep.
That's a big spell.
Yeah, no, it is a good spell, to be fair. So I'll roll on my sheet this time to be a bit faster. Oh, 35.
How do these jesters take out this terrified mage?
Well, I mean, we don't see the clown and the jesters, but I'm describing it as it happens. I think they're closing in on him, and they put a little smile on his face as the light goes away. Yeah,
bleak.
I think he joins them. But we don't know. And they laugh like that, and they're doing it. It's terrible, really.
You all hear a very faint giggling in the forest that you don't know where it comes from, as he just dies. But
that was fast.
The mage is now taken out. So he doesn't get his turn. Ben, you're up. Mario, you're on deck.
All right, I'll look at the giant and I'll shout out of it at it. You have the nose of a peasant. Vicious mockery.
Excellent.
Wisdom save 18.
He rolled a 14, so fail.
That is 8 psychic damage, and his next attack has disadvantage, which is what this was about.
Excellent. All right. Mara, you are up.
Oh, yes, I sorry.
So we have
that name does not connect with me.
Yeah. I'll start saying Jen.
No, it's okay. I'll pick it up. Next time I'll get there.
All good. So we have 2 incapacitated soldiers who are hypnotized still. We have the giant left, and then we have the one soldier running away who's 60 feet away.
Oh, do I have something to stop him? That's not nice. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, I do, poor guy. Let me see if I'm in range. How far is he?
60 feet.
Oh, that's exactly how much I needed. That's great. So I'm going to cast Silence Image on his path. And I'd like to make appear one of those clowns. I feel like it worked out well for the other guy. So,
oh boy, this is gonna
so
be
yeah, I'd like the clown to kind of appear in front of him and act all dangerous. And he probably has like an axe or something. He has to be scary.
Okay.
And I'd like the axe to be real. Because I'm an illusionist, so I can make that object real. So it's a clown holding a real axe.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
That's really cool.
Fake clown, real axe. That is Sean's nightmare. All right, so this soldier is running away for his life, looking back every now and then and seeing like, I made the right choice. And then he turns and he's like, I made the wrong choice. As there is and you all see this too, terrifying jester in I'll say purple and yellow Harley Quinn outfit, and just an otherworldly massive smile on its face, and these eyes that are happy but terrifying, as it's staring and dancing back and forth in front of him with a very real axe in its hands.
That's my turn.
Excellent. It's his turn. He is terrified and going to take a swipe at the clown, even though he can't hurt it. All right, so he attempts to attack the clown. I mean, I don't know why I rolled. It's not a real clown. And his sword just goes right through it. I am going to roll an intelligence check for him to see if he realizes what's going on. He doesn't really realize it. So
great. So since I think I can do this as an illusionist of that devil, but I'd like to simulate the impact. And like see that the clown had the hit, and it's really gross.
So smart.
But he finds it really funny. Like, he doesn't pain at all. It's nasty.
Oh, no. Oh my god!
What am I doing?
Wow. Jen.
I didn't know it would be so dark.
I love it.
So this soldier is going to defend himself from a maniacal clown in the woods, and he slashes, and a wound appears, but the clown just smiles bigger and laughs harder in his face, and he's just mortified. I'm going to say he has the frightened condition, even if that's not part of the spell, just because of that whole deal. Rena, you are up.
Okay, how far away is this frost giant?
The frost giant is like right in front of you.
Cool. I would like to reach out, and I would like to cast polymorph on it, and I would like to turn it into a snow bunny.
All right. What is is that a wisdom save?
Wisdom 18.
Rolled I gotta use a different dice. You rolled 4.
He's a snow bunny.
All right. So.
Oh, is it like a really big one? Is it like the same size? Or?
So we're still bigger than it, but no, you know what? It's tiny. It's a little tiny snow bunny with a cute little nose.
All right. So Elliot and War Pastor, you were like getting ready to like take this giant down, and you look as it lifts its axe up in the air, and then it just shrinks down immediately into this little snow bunny, and it's just sort of wiggling its whiskers and hopping towards you, War Pastor, because he's still gonna attack you.
Fair enough.
But you should let it attack you. It's so cute. Do not hurt the snow bunny.
It still has to. It's still cursed. It's still got to roll its wisdom to see if it can do anything.
That's a good point, actually.
It's probably wiser as a bunny.
Yeah.
That's. Anything else, Rena?
No, that's all I got what I wanted.
All right. It's a wisdom check on this little bunny, whether it can do anything. All right. It rolled an 8, and it does not have a modifier, so it is an 8. So you just see this very confused bunny rabbit that's just sort of hopping in a circle, hopping around in a circle. This snowy little rabbit. And it was the giant's turn, so the giant doesn't get his turn. All right, so Aether, there is a soldier attempting to flee through a clown that's stopping him. 2 that are just sort of still in this hypnotic pattern. Oh, wow. That hypnotic pattern is great because they don't get to do another saving throw. What would you like to do?
Yes, Aether will walk through the snow within 30 feet of the one that has been waylaid by a clown, raise the hand crossbow, and I'm going to use my insightful fighting on it first because it's not actually in melee with an ally. But I rolled a 1 and a 6, but thanks to reliable talent, that's a 21 on my insight.
And that's against their deception again?
Yep.
All right, you got it.
And for the attack roll, that is a 17 to hit.
Oh, right. He is taken out. You see, he is distracted by this clown and trying to he's dropped down kind of to a low position, holding his sword up against the clown, and you sort of put him out of his misery in this moment as the crossbow bolt just hits him right in the back, and he goes quiet. So, for all intents and purposes, you're out of combat, but you got these two guys here who are staring off into the distance, and you've got this one big giant, this snow bunny here. What would you like to do?
Is it a bunny forever? Like what? How?
I think it's an hour.
It's an hour.
Oh, can I pick it up and pet the bunny?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
got to beat me to it. I was going to go do that.
As the two sisters go rushing towards the bunny at the same time. Hypnotic pattern, that only lasts for a minute, right?
Yes.
So these two soldiers are going to come out of this pretty soon. What would you all like to do?
Do we want to hear the confession of these two individuals, or shall we simply excommunicate them?
I'm down for a confession. Not everything has to end in brutal death or gestures.
Do you think they could get us closer to where we need to go? I
think that is wise.
I suppose we could ask them.
I'm not very good at asking.
I was going, please. I'm not very good at that.
I forgot about the other two soldiers, so I'm just gonna say, and I'm just gonna say they died, because I also forgot about Captain Cooper.
Oh my God!
So I'm gonna say that, and as Shannon knows, I'm very bad at throwing my NPCs in and forgetting about them in combat.
Yeah.
I'll say he showed up and just took those two out. He
Perfect.
2 quick shots with his longbow, and they're down.
Perfect.
As he's coming up to you all.
Good job, Captain Cooper.
So yeah, I forgot. I forgot. I was off getting firewood. Didn't think you all needed me. All right, so these two are about to come out of this hypnotic pattern. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna gesture for Elliot and Zachariah, maybe to sort of like grab them and restrain them, disarm them, kind of thing, and then Ethier will say, well, give me some time alone with one or two of them. I will have the answers we need.
So they come out of this hypnotic pattern as you two are holding them, and they immediately sort of, what did you do to us? And they're like, let us go.
You were going to tell us a few things first. Come,
not talk.
Sit with me. Talk. And I'll sort of gesture to the side for someone to pull the other one over. And once we get over there, I'm going to use my Whisper Bard Words of Terror.
Ooh.
All right, so I'll say Elliot takes one and brings them over aside with you, while Zachariah is still holding on to the other one. And they're struggling, but they're like Elliot and Zachariah are very tall, very very large, and they're much smaller, so they easily just bring them over. So you've got this one just sort of seated down in the snow in front of you.
Yeah. So Words of Terror, I can speak to a humanoid alone for 1 minute and cause it to become frightened of you or another creature of my choice, but me in this case. If it fails a Wisdom saving throw, DC 17, for 1 hour, or until it or its allies are attacked or damaged. And if the target succeeds on the save, it is not aware that I used the ability.
He does not pass that saving throw.
And I'll just lean in. It is in your best health that you answer my questions, friend. Please, all you have to do is answer a few questions.
And you see, like, he was struggling at first, and now just the way you're looking into his eyes, the sort of ethereal nature of your words, his eyes go wide and he just sort of nods his head back to you. He's just sort of like pushing himself back, like kind of struggling. He's not trying to escape, but he's terrified of you. So he's pushing his arms through the snow until his back hits up against the back of a tree. And for a moment, you notice the bark of the tree is a little weird. As you see it kind of splits, and you see it kind of slowly opens, where the bark is now turned to fangs. As you can see a fleshy tongue come out and sort of just lick the back of this guy's neck.
Oh, gross.
as like branches start to come down, as you see this, since we got a donation for a mimic.
Thanks, Duval. Thanks.
You see this mimic tree goes in and just bites down on the arm of this guy, and he screams. And then you see 3 arrows just sort of all 3 at once just hit into the face of this mimic, as you see it just sort of screech out, release the guy, and the tree just starts to slowly die there as the leaves all fall, as this guy is now bleeding out of his arm. Actually, I'll roll damage for that mimic on him because he might kill him.
All very grim, except the bunny. The bunny.
Yeah, the bunny is still doing
bunny.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this
like,
guy.
remember after an hour what happened the last time?
I know. You won't let me forget. I know.
This guy's still alive, but he is holding on barely onto life after this. As you see Captain Cooper come up with his bow in hand, like, yeah, got those Douglas fir mimics out here. Keep your eyes out. And walks away.
Well, friend, please. I think there are more dangerous things out here that you can clearly imagine. Please tell us. We are looking, and I'll describe the location of where we're going and basically push for information on like best way to get there and not be seen and get our way in. Any sort of regiment information and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you see the guy, like, after his arm was released by the mimic, you see the blood is staining the snow. And he just sort of like crawls closer to you and just sort of like grabs onto your cloak. He's like, oh, whatever you need. I'll tell you everything. Just keep me safe. Get me out of here. The prince is being held in Belfielder's Pike. It's about 2 miles from here, deeper into the woods. There's a lot of guards. A lot of giants.
Is there any less observed areas that would be easier to enter?
He sort of pulls himself up, trying to stand next to you. It is an old fortress. Walls all around, but they're ancient. Some of them collapsed. There's more guards around the collapsed portions of the wall. Perhaps I can distract them for you. Get them to leave.
Oh. And I'll sort of like run a finger along the sort of side of his cheek and healing word him.
Excellent.
It's a threat, by the way.
Yeah, this is
Just in case that wasn't clear.
For 6 points of healing.
So you see he kind of like falls into you a little bit. His hand clasps onto your shoulder. As you can see between the torn clothing and leather armor that has been sort of just exposed, you can see the teeth marks slowly closing themselves as you've healed him. Yes, I can help you. Thank you for sparing me.
We have many people that we can be friends perhaps in the future. I always have, uses for those.
Of course. You'll need to get in quickly and get out fast, even faster. There's another mage there. 20, 25 guards. At least 3 or 4 giants. But if you can get in quietly, and I can distract them. If you seek the prince, this is the only way to do it.
Sort of smile and thank you. We appreciate.
Yes.
And I have a question about currency in your world.
Sure.
Is it clearly like the the currency of like different lands?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to slip some gold with sleight of hand into one of his pockets and just sort of pat it. Be like, just think more can be yours. I just put a finger to my lips and sort of like step away.
And you see he just sort of like falls backwards into a tree and then just like sort of jumps off of it. And nothing happens. The tree's normal, but he's just like, oh. All right. So you have this guard now as an asset who can potentially trick the other guards into leaving their posts for one reason or another, so that you can slip into the fortress where the prince is being held. You have a bunny rabbit giant that any minute now will turn back into a giant.
Has it been an hour?
I'll say you've got 15 minutes left with the bunny.
I've used every single one of them.
Well, maybe that could be a distraction, actually.
And we could toss
we get
the
there in
bunny over the
Throw
wall.
the bunny over there.
Can we get there in 15 minutes or less?
I will warn you that when the bunny becomes a giant,
Let me take
the
the bunny,
giants
Sean.
are
Take the bunny.
allied with them. So the
Oh.
giant will be like, I was a bunny. They threw me over the walls. They're coming. There I was a bunny for an hour.
That's too bad.
Um,
That's a bit disappointing. That would have been good, though.
what's your plan for this giant? Are you just going to leave him behind and move on? Or are you going to...
Well, I'm going to carry him until the time is up, and then I'm going to let him go. Until there's like a minute. There's like a minute. Okay, maybe 5 minutes.
How
Maybe
are you
5 minutes.
gonna
So I want to play the bunny.
There will be a frost giant behind us, or a giant behind us. I just don't know if we want.
Is there a place that we could put it in so that it doesn't come back to attack us?
I think you should send him to bunny heaven.
No.
Is there a ravine or a cliff?
Well, I don't know. Does anybody
Not the hourglass. Let's just start walking, and I'll let him go. It's
I don't
fine.
know. Does anybody has like something to bring it to another plane of existence? Maybe.
Okay, fine. I cast banishment on it.
That's a good use of a spell. Okay.
I'll hold it out in my hand. Goodbye, Frederick, and I will cast banishment on the bunny.
I'm not even going to roll for it because you see she takes a moment too with this bunny and pets it, and then goodbye, Frederick, and with just a little pop, and you see like a little pink bubble bursts after the pop. The bunny is gone for the
A
duration
minute.
of the spell. For
Well,
a minute.
there we go.
So-
Shall we start walking then?
I suggest
Solves
we
the
run.
problem.
Also, doesn't the bunny begin transform? You cast the polymorph spell, right?
Yes, so it
Oh, yeah.
immediately became a giant.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Yes,
So yeah,
that broke concentration.
In your hand, it's sort of like you watch this bunny slowly start to grow into a giant with an axe held up for your head, Rena, and it's about to bring it down before pop. With a pink bubble, it is sent to another plane. It will be back in a minute, though, so you should probably.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
go. We should probably move. Let's just move.
go.
Let's go. You told me to get rid of the bunny. I did. Let's go.
All right. So
And I will
Oh, it's-
inform the rest of the party of the mage, the 20-25 guards, as well as the 3 to 4 giants, and suggest that the guard serve as a distraction to get us through some of the section of ruined wall.
How far away is the fortress from where we are?
2 miles.
I'm going to need to heal a little bit before we get there. You see just the 2 giant like axe marks across my chest. So
Ruprik is just stroking his beard and looks over to Thier and was like, "That's quite the trick. How did you get that tree to attack that guy?"
Smile.
I too would like to know.
Yeah, that whole
quite
time
interesting.
Elliot was just watching, like, what group did I get involved in?
Magic.
All right, so I'll say you guys have run into the forest line deeper in that 1 minute. You would very, very quickly hear a very loud roar from this giant, an angry shout.
Oh, time is up.
You know,
Time is up. We should
300
move
or
faster.
so, 300 to 500 feet behind you. So you are moving through the forest at this point. You have these two guards with you who are going to work with you. The other guard, sort of, you can see him whispering to the other one, for good or worse.
Can I catch some of those whispers?
Sure, give me an insight check.
Oh, I'm good at these. I can read my dice. 18 plus 11, 31. 30, wait, I have no idea how math works, do I? 37.
Oh boy.
27.
14th level.
29.
Really high. And they're not particularly good at keeping their whispers quiet when you're all surrounding them. It seems as though the one guard that you got on your side they're bickering, where he's like, this is the only way, we have to work with them. We can, they're planning essentially, but like it's not bad. They're essentially, he's like, you do this, we do this for them, and we flee for the border, and we go on with our lives. We go south, go as far as south goes. Screw all this snow and the war. We'll go to the beaches of Byzantium, and we'll start a new life. And now they're no longer whispering. But you do catch, though, that they seem on the up and up, like they're going to help you. You don't get there's no idea that they're plotting against you.
Well, as we walk, I'll drop a few words. Well, when we get to this holdout, I can probably convince 12 guards to walk back to the capital for 24 hours.
That's impressive.
And as it doesn't require concentration, I can probably convince another 12 to go for 10 days for upcasted.
Well, I think that just solved our problem now, didn't it?
I brought my
One
suggestion.
One of three.
Well, we have to take them one at a time.
Well, as long as they don't resist my persuasion.
So you are moving through the forest, talking a little bit about your plan. There's a point when the guards the soldiers alert you that you are getting close. You begin to slow your pace and sneak a little bit more. I'd like everyone to give me stealth checks.
I don't think that's my specialty.
I rolled a 3.
Oh no!
I rolled a 30.
There's the balance.
There's a benefit to having such a large party. When
I
you're
rolled a
Yeah.
7.
I rolled a 6. I'm not very discreet of a person.
This time.
I'm glad it wasn't
on
just
this.
me.
14.
23.
So you are kind of moving through the forest. At this point, it's getting a lot darker out. You can see kind of the black star in the sky with the sun mostly eclipsed. It is probably only like 3:00, but it feels like it's dusk out as far as how dark it is. You are moving through the forest and kind of getting low as it kind of starts to ascend up a hill. And you stop just short of where that hill crests and then descends down into the clearing where the fortress is. As you're getting up that hill, I'll say Aether is the first one up, and he's kind of looking out. If you want to give me a quick perception check, Aether.
23.
23. All right. So as soon as you get to the peak of this hill, you can very clearly see there's probably another like 100 feet of forest line, of pretty bare trees, and then you see another 100 feet of cleared forest, where there's just stumps and the fresh snow, and then you can see the fortress itself. And you can see the walls are very old looking. Even where the wall is still standing, like you couldn't really you spot a few guards who are in posts, but they're standing in like the only spots in that section of wall that are even viable to stand on. Like they couldn't be using stairs to get up there. They got to be using little like wooden ladders. It's essentially a complete ruin that they're holed up in. Beyond the wall, you can see there is a tower in there. That's a hill tower that's built on top of a higher hill. Where it's not a particularly tall tower, but the hill is much higher than the walls, so it's good for looking out and seeing around. And you can see it's got a crenellated top where you can see at least maybe 2 guards standing up there. But as you're looking at all of this and everyone else is kind of following you up the hill, you see Elliot's kind of just like looking back down and being like slow down, as like Rufrick is just like not really looking and moving too fast and kind of like bumps into him, and Elliot kind of like tries to grab him and try to grip each other, and then Mara bumps into them, and Elliot goes tumbling down the hill, rolling forward into the sparser forest ahead. What do y'all do?
I go running after my sister. Quietly.
I want to look around and see if anybody heard that.
Give me a perception check.
All right. God, I need new dice too. Let's see. 9.
9. You don't see anybody, but you definitely see all the birds that fly away from the tree that you landed at the base of. But I'll say with your previous perception check, Aether, since you were watching, you would notice that there are some guards looking in the direction of the forest as they kind of see the birds fly out and heard the tumble in there.
Well, I think there goes the element of surprise.
I mean, we were surprised.
I
Very
was
surprised.
definitely surprised.
And is there sort of like a ring of trees around that open area and then the fortress kind of thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Quick question: do these guards have uniforms, like a tabard or something like that?
Yes. So you would see most of the garb that they wear are very thick and heavy furs because it is exceptionally cold out here. But they do all have a tabard. It's not exactly a tabard, but more goes over their armor that has the colors of the Scythian flag. So they are definitely uniforms, so to speak.
Well, I could use seeming to make us look like we are wearing this kind of armor. Maybe we can convince them that they just let us walk in.
I knew I chose you for a reason, Ben.
Always happy to help.
You see Captain Cooper is looking at you, Ben, like after he 100% was like, this kid's going to get in the way.
Gonna get us all killed.
I do apologize, Ben. Seems like we're getting in the way of you.
Well,
It seems like a good idea indeed.
Good one, sister.
Right. Well, how long would it take for this magic ears to take effect?
6 seconds.
Oh, well.
And it's going to last 8 hours.
Can you cover all of us?
Any number of creatures within 30 feet.
Well, perhaps some of us should stay back, though. Just
Indeed.
in case.
and look to the other two guards, the injured one and the one that was good. I'd say, perhaps 3 of you could escort these 2 in. The injury to be seen to. There were 5 before, yes. And then the rest of us come in from a different angle.
Plan?
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I can do that.
I'll go with them.
Go
All
as
right.
well.
Maybe
All right.
Zachariah. I feel like we put the heavy hitters,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rufrick and Elliot,
Yep.
inside the building.
Yep.
Okay.
Magic users will come in from another way.
All right, so you're going to cast Seeming on Rufrick, Elliot, and Zachariah to look like to have the uniform of the soldiers to escort these 2 guards in after their patrol. While the rest of you are going to find an opening in the wall.
Mhm.
Okay, excellent. All right, so you cast the spell. Zachariah, Elliot, and Rufrick, your clothes seem to vanish into illusions as they are replaced with the heavy furs and the tabard of the soldiers.
I'll,
Go ahead.
I'll try to make them at least vaguely look like the guys that they're supposed to be replacing.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you could do more than just their clothes. Excellent.
As we're walking up, I'll look over to Elliot and Rufrick and kind of like gather them in a little bit and say, we walk into the maw of the enemy. And as we do know that the goddess Adria has our best intent in her heart, be afraid not of what comes and have faith that we shall prevail. And I'll cast motivational speech, giving each of you an extra 5 temporary hit points. And if you're hit by an attack, you have advantage on your next attack after you're damaged.
Is that all of us or just the 3 of you?
I can do it up to 5, so I'll do
Okay.
the 3 of us, and I'll hit you and Mara as well.
Excellent.
What does it do? It extra.
It gives you 5 temporary hit points.
Oh,
You have
okay.
advantage on wisdom saving throws, and if you're hit by an attack, you have advantage on your next attack roll. I'll send out the spell.
So yeah,
Rufrick,
go ahead.
I was going to say, Rufrick pats Zachariah in the back, says that was a very moving speech, and casts guidance on him.
Trading blessings. You see at this point, the rest of you, you see Captain Cooper. He just sort of pulls out a tobacco pipe and starts to kind of clean it out as he's looking at Zachariah and says, "Yeah, see, I told you. Don't cross his guard. He'll have your back." All right. Well, the rest of us better find ourselves a new way in while you 3 get in there. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Let us go.
I miss Frederick.
Does not miss you, I'm sure of that. As Captain Cooper and Ether lead the rest of you to circumvent and move around to find another entrance. The 2 guards kind of look to Elliot and Zachariah, kind of shaking off kind of their own injuries that you both inflicted upon them. And you all start to slowly walk out of the woods. Simultaneously, an excellent cover for those birds flying out and the stealth mishap. As you 5 start to walk across the snow, you feel a bit tense. You kind of maybe feel yourself gripping at the hilt of your weapons as you're entering into this almost no man's land between the forest line and the fortress itself, as you see the guards kind of all looking towards you as you start to head step after step, crunching of the snow, the cold air blistering your skin towards the heavily fortified fortress. The rest of you watching them, waiting for that arrow to fly out of nowhere as you're wandering to find that second entrance. And that's where we're going to take a quick break so that we can use the bathroom. So we will be back in, I'll say 5 minutes for 8:40. So stick around, folks, as we continue on to rescue Prince of Uxlan. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting over that break while we got ourselves refreshed. If I'm not mistaken, looking at chat, we have a giveaway going on with the hashtag Sean Urock. I feel weird saying that. Put that in chat for the giveaway to win some prizes. But anyway, let's jump back into our game for the evening. So we have Zachariah, Elliot, and Rufric with these two guards walking up to the fortress at this point, while the rest of you are sneaking around in the woods to look for a back entrance. In the woods, while you're all sneaking around, if you could all give me stealth checks again.
Natural 20.
Nice. For like a 500.
34.
11.
Yeah, for 500.
4? Oh my goodness.
11.
Who got a 4?
No. Ether got a 34.
Oh. I think you guys are going to be
he just
stealthy.
Disappeared. 21.
In the other campaign.
24.
24, nice. All right, I'll say all those 3 plus Cooper also got higher than 20, so I think those make up for the 11. No one sees you, or you at this point don't believe anyone sees you. And while you're walking, Captain Cooper's actually walking pretty casually through the forest as he's lit his pipe and is now smoking it as he's walking. Where's my prop?
Do you have your pipe there?
I always have it here.
You always have your pipe
there. Because I RP better when I have it. But he's just sort of walking, and he's a little bit serious at this point as you're kind of now finally here. So he looks around and just says, "Yeah, well, not too concerned about these Sivians seeing us. Not the greatest scouts, as you can tell back there. But we are here now. It's time for you all to do your job. Prince Wesley's been in there for 2 months, all by his lonesome. Don't know what we're going to find in there when we see him. He's going to have been lonely, scared, and disheveled. So we need to do our best to keep him safe. Once they're in, we're going to have no clue. We got to find that entrance, find them, and get out of there fast." They got a dog. If anyone harms that dog, you're not welcome back. But he kind of looks to you all and sort of puffs a few smoke rings from it, and then kind of looks back across the no man's land, where you all can see at this point you're in the you're at a portion of the wall that is opposite where the rest of the party was heading. And you can see where the wall, it's the first time you've seen the wall is kind of like collapsed down in certain areas where you could just walk right over into the fortress. You can see there are more guards at this point. You can see the collapsed space that you're looking at has about 5 guards on it and 1 giant. You can see the giant right now is just hucking rubble into the no man's land. You could just hear like as a massive boulder just smacks into a tree at the forest line, and you could just hear all the twigs snapping and breaking. So yeah, you probably want them to not be there when you go in. But at this point, it is also getting very late, so you're really only seeing them by the torchlight around the fortress as this dusk is slowly turning into night at this point. It's only about 4 p.m. The other 3 of you are walking towards a opening in the walls. You can see there's a similar point where the wall is collapsed that they're sort of using as a front gate, it looks like. You can see there are a few wagons and barricades in front of it. As you're approaching, the 2 guards in the middle say, "I think that you should let us do the talking."
Yeah. And you better get us past without any incident, or I will be reading you your last rites. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And when you get us through, get us to the infirmary as quickly as possible.
Yes. Should we find a way for your friends to get in?
Yeah, well, I want to get out of sight of everyone else first, and then we can start looking. I don't want to just get right in and be like, oh, where's the hole in the wall, you know? So, yeah.
Certainly. Yes.
All right.
Okay, so you see the one that's definitely on your side is kind of collecting himself. You see the other one is looking really terrified and shifty. You approach and you can see they don't immediately open up the barricade. You see another soldier is kind of marching forward. This one is she's about 7 feet tall, with a shaved head and runic tattoos across her face. She has this massive cloak that when you get closer, you can see is made of mammoth fur. And the shoulders of the cloak and the pauldrons have mammoth tusks on them. She's holding a very large halberd. She is a Goliath as you're approaching. And she immediately shouts out to the soldier leading you, "Halt! I think we recall more of you went out on this patrol. What happened?" And you see the guard that's on your side steps forward and kind of looks, and you can tell for a moment he's like, he didn't plan a story. We were attacked by Oxlin soldiers, a small group, probably infiltration. But we took care of it. Their bodies are about 2 miles out into the woods. We lost Yorba, Frigg, Trent. That's one too many, actually. And he's like, sorry, Trent was injured, as he looks and sort of pats Zachariah on the shoulder. You see she sort of steps forward with that halberd kind of in her 2 hands now. And says, "Did you see any more of them? Should we reinforce? Should we prepare for an attack?" No. We did a full patrol. We went around another time. That's why we were back so late. The forests, they're empty now. What are the rest of you doing while he's talking to her?
How far away are we from said fortress?
On the edge of the forest, you are
Mhm.
about a little bit more than 100 feet away from the walls.
So if I wanted to look and see if I could find a window or a door or something, am I too far away?
Well, there's no windows or doors because they're walls, and they're
Are they?
That's fair.
Are they rock walls?
Yes, they are rock walls.
Oh, actually, I have a way to get in really easily then.
So as I'm looking for the windows and doors that don't exist,
Yeah.
my
I'm
older sister comes up and it's like,
I'm
"I got
going
this."
through my book and I'm like, oh, actually, I have a thing to let us through.
Oh, good, because
Yeah.
there's no windows or doors.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, the only way in that you can see right now are those collapsed portions where the wall is essentially broken down, and you could just walk in.
Well, there's that. Yeah. If I don't need
But those portions are heavily guarded.
Oh, well, maybe we should go to a less heavily guarded portion where I can cast my spell and we can just go through.
That makes more sense.
Yes, I think if we can get to the wall and you can make an entrance,
Mm-hmm.
that is the way in.
Let's do that.
Theo, you certainly put together a good team. Elliot and Rufric and Zachariah, are you just sort of letting this guy lead the way, or are you guys doing anything?
How far away? Go ahead, Elliot.
I'm trying to look as inconspicuous as possible.
Why don't you guys give me performance rolls? It's not a terribly high DC because it's because of the seaming.
6.
Oh, I hope it wasn't that.
14.
7.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, man.
boy. So you see this Goliath fighter. She steps forward after kind of eyeing this soldier up and down and looking to each of you, and you all are kind of avoiding her eyes, I imagine, trying to act natural. She does kind of come up to Zechariah, and after the guard, the soldier kind of messed up with saying one of the other ones was dead, but then claiming you, she sort of, with a big heavy hand, just sort of slaps your arm where you're supposedly injured.
I'll kind of like fall to one knee.
And she looks down and sort of, you should fight harder. Do not let them break you down like this. You are all to go directly to the infirmary. We have some questions for you and what you saw. I will meet you there. And then she just sort of looks across you all again. And you can tell it's no longer like, it's not suspicion. She's like pulling rank. And then she nods to the soldier. Ivar, bring them in. Get them some food. And then come find me. Yeah. Yes. Well, at once. And then you see they slowly pull the carts away. And you have made your way in. The DC was 5. So only because of seeming. Because that is like, she didn't have much reason to really suspect you. Because you look like those people. But you step inside, and as soon as you're inside, you thought you felt tense out on the no man's land. Now inside, like, you see like just 2 giants off to the side, just sort of arm wrestling on a massive boulder, a portion of the wall, and they're just sort of arm wrestling, and you're like, 2 snow bunnies, great. And you see like there's little camps and tents out. There's not really any dwellings here because it's pretty much just a ruin of an old fortress. But there are tents all around. And the Ivar, the soldier you captured, he does bring you, he kind of looks to you and sort of says, that was close. This way. And leads you directly to a larger tent where you can see some torchlight from inside. This is the infirmary. The prince is held up there, and he points to the tower that's in the center of the camp. What do we do now?
I think it'd probably be best for our compatriots if we got as many eyes on the opposite side of the fort as possible. What do y'all think? I'll look at Rufrick and Elliot. And you think we can get, I don't know, maybe them to double the guard on the front of the fort or something?
Are the giants like close to the wall? Arm wrestling?
Yeah, they're like right up against it.
I say we make bets on who wins and gather a crowd.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Are the accents over here, like, is it going to be very obvious when we speak that we're not these people?
Yeah, so
No.
you're going to be doing some performance checks. So you are going to go up to where those 2 giants are and where there's some folks, kind of soldiers that are resting, that are not on guard, and you're going to try to incite some excitement. All right. So someone can give me either each of you can give me a performance check, or someone can do it with advantage.
Are either of you
Who's
good at
leading this?
performance?
Who's leading this?
I'm not much of a performer. I'm more of a persuader. So if anybody else feels,
I would allow you to use persuasion.
I'll walk up to the giants then. Oh God, like I think Zachariah underneath the seaming is like starting to sweat, like he's totally out of his element here, and he goes up and he's like, I think it would be quite interesting if the two of you arm wrestled in front of the whole fort. We could take bets right over there. And I'll point on the opposite side of the fort from where I know the team's coming in.
Okay. All right. Give me a persuasion roll. If someone would like to help him, you can give him advantage in some way.
Yeah, you still have guidance from earlier, I think, too, right?
Oh, you do.
Boom. Natty 20, baby.
Doesn't need it. Okay. All right. So the giants, one of them kind of looks at you and the other one slams his arm down as that one was distracted by your idea. And you see he's just sort of immediately goes into a rage. He's like, it's not fair. He distracted me. And the other one is like, well, why don't we make it interesting like the little one suggested? Double or nothing? Fine. And you see the other one sort of throws his arms up and says, who wants to see me beat this one again? Take your bets now. He's a weakling. It's easy. I didn't need this little one. And you see people are sort of like, because it's tremendously boring while being out on this post. And they're like, you see a few people like, I guess so. And then others are like, yes, Sonic, finally, something's happening. And they start to all gather around as these giants. You see the one that won, he sort of pushes this boulder they were using as a table out further towards where you were pointing at everyone. And you see a lot of the guards are starting to gather around. You even see some of the guards who are on actual posts where they're supposed to be looking out are watching the fight or the arm wrestling happening. Anything else from you three?
Question. Do we see some of this or hear some of this, like a little bit of commotion, and see some of the lights moving or people moving towards the front?
Give me a perception check. And any of you can give me a perception check for that, who are in the forest.
Well, I rolled a 3, but my modifier is plus 12. So 15.
Oh, wow.
I know. Now I know what it's like to be Kira.
That's a 30.
24.
26.
I'm a rogue. Rogue and a bard back here. Like, this is our job.
Fear, you like hear the thoughts of the people inside. No, I'd say anyone who got a 15 or higher would be able to hear commotion. Aether, you would be able to hear more specifically, like, and see kind of like you find the right spot and you can see people all moving towards one side that's over towards where the other three are. You would also spot some of the guards kind of looking away from their posts.
Oh, I hear commotion.
I will sort of pat the closest person on the shoulder and say,
did you see something there?
I think now is our chance. There is a commotion to the front. If we move quickly, we can get to the wall. And Mara, you can make us an entrance.
All right. Well, you heard the creepy elf. Everybody, let's get moving.
Doesn't even bat an eye. Like, totally used to it. Everyone probably thinks he's super creepy. It's like very charming, but in a creepy way.
All right. So I'll say if the forest party could give me stealth checks with advantage, because it is dark out and there is the commotion.
Dirty 20.
21. If we
26.
did not have advantage, I would have had a 4.
19.
Nice.
Sneaky.
And Athera, I just assume you got a
26.
Oh.
I rolled a 12 and an 11.
That's low for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you find yourselves moving across the snow. The environment right now, the sky is getting a little bit more overcast in that way that at night in the winter, you see some snow, light snowflakes. And the white of the snow is just sort of reflecting the orange light of the torches in the fortress. And you slowly are moving your way across, stopping here and there as you see the guards maybe returning to their post, taking advantage of when they're not looking. And you get to the wall undetected.
All right, sister, do your thing.
So how thick is the wall? I should have said that before. It should be fine.
Yeah, it's probably at least somewhere between 3 and 4 feet thick.
No problem at all.
Push
All
on
right.
the wall a little bit to help.
Yeah, so I use a stone shape and I
Nice.
make a little door.
Excellent.
And it's shaped like a snow bunny.
Oh, you didn't have to do that for me. Thank you.
You little palm.
Yeah, right.
Trick.
Fluffy.
Just
tail.
this beautiful doorway opens up, and you watch as it's this sort of quiet, like melding of the stone, where it sort of is just sort of being compressed and pushed or pressured out. And then you see it pressure even more into 2 large bunny ears, and pressure even more into a little tail and some whiskers.
It's very precise, and we kind of have to go through it with our arms like this.
Yeah.
To the bunny
Like-
ears. It's
100%.
Like you kind of have to stop her for a moment and be like, that's enough, we need to go. But yeah, you are in a corner of the fortress. You can see the tower in the center. You can see where the kind of like hill spirals up to the tower. You can see that there are still guards above you. And you can see to your left that where you were originally looking to enter, where the wall was destroyed, at least all of those guards are still there too. The five guards in the giants, but they're not looking inside. They're expecting someone to be coming from outside. So no one has spotted you so far. Back with the other group, the crowd is really going right now. You can see, you see some are like pulling out, flasks and wine skins. As you can see, these 2 giants are, and you see the same one who won before wins again. And he just sort of stands up, arms up. With his arms up, he's like 20 feet tall. And he's just like, that's right, Krog, I'm the winner. And the other one's like, double or nothing again. Show me the coin. As you see, he just sort of pulls out this massive bag and plops it down on the stone. You see he's just like digging through it. You see he throws like a cage that just has like a skeleton in and out of it. He just like throws like random things. He throws the entire carcass of a goat out of the bag. And he just like pulls out this big hunk of like diamond. And he's like, let's go. And you hear the whole crowd cheer as soon as he says that. What do you 2 do? Or you 3?
I'm gonna go around and collect the bets.
All right, so
We're not only rescuers, we are thieves.
Yeah.
Elliot, you're just collecting like gold and silver from all of these soldiers as they're watching this, and you kind of come back to Zachariah and Rufric. You're at the back of the crowd. You've got this big satchel of coin now, and like and you just walk right up to them. What do you guys do?
Bold. I like it.
I'll reach in the bag and grab his coin. Like, how'd you get all this?
They just gave it to me.
All right.
I have to say, people just giving you coin is not something that the church is unfamiliar with.
All right. So
How large is the camp? Is it small enough where we could like look around and see if we maybe see them coming in?
Yeah, you could definitely try that. So if you want to give me a quick perception or investigation check, you absolutely can.
Okay. Nat 1. But it's a 10.
Did either of the other one of you?
I got 22.
Okay. So yeah, Rufric, you are too distracted by the accoutrement that is coming out of the giant's bag.
I'm just eyeing that diamond, like,
and the diamonds. You're like, that could go to so many of my experiments. That would be great for my inventions. So you kind of are looking around, but every now and then your eyes are just going back to the diamond. While Zachariah, you are looking across after congratulating Elliot for his ill-gotten gains. You do spot across the sort of the center of the camp. You see your compatriots kind of clustered by the wall. You see the guards above them, but you see they're not surrounded by any guards on the ground.
I slowly reach out and just like put my hand on Rufric's chin and just push it like 180 degrees the exact opposite way he was looking. So he's looking now at the party inside the wall.
I look back and...
How far away are we from these two giants?
The two that are guarding, or the two that are
arm wrestling?
Arm wrestling, I would say you're about 150 feet away from them.
Okay.
All right, so I imagine the three of you are going to start making your way over to them. The rest of you, are you going to start going deeper into the camp?
I would like to cast See Invisibility, just so I can have that up and see if there's anything lurking. Don't do it. Don't. No, we're gonna give it back.
Roll your Tides of Chaos. Wild Magic Search.
That was the moment.
I see it happening and I'm like, no.
Oh my god! Guys, this is so bad!
What did you roll? What did you roll?
I rolled a 93.
Ooh.
Your size increases by one size category for the next minute. I get bigger. I was already big.
So, yeah, so you are all hiding.
Not anymore.
And Rena, you grow to a large size.
Oh, I have an
Watch
idea.
as she just starts to slowly like Rena, you're like, oh no, it's happening.
Oh no,
as
it's
you
happening
feel
again.
yourself growing.
As I see it
Again.
happening, I'd like to cast Silent Image on her to make her look like one of those giants. So I'd like to surround her with an illusion of one of the giants.
All right.
Maybe the one we killed earlier. Maybe the bunny giant.
We didn't kill him.
Did we know his name? Was it
Frederick?
Theodore?
Frederick.
Frederick, yes. Frederick.
I don't think that's
okay.
giant. But
That's his name.
Frederick. Frederick the Giant.
Frederick the Giant.
All right. So as soon as you grow large, your sister immediately casts the spell, and over you is the silent image of the giant. Can you move the silent image? Can it move with her, or is she?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it can. It's purely visual. There's no sound.
Oh, you can make it walk. It doesn't make any
But
sound,
I
but you
think
can
I
make it
can
walk.
make it walk, yeah.
Yes, you can.
But she walks, so she makes the sound, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So the rest of you hiding there, the three of you definitely see this as you're trying to walk over.
I definitely chose them.
He's like, yeah, well, and here maybe I was wrong.
I like hand Cooper like 5 gold in a prior bet that we orchestrated like months ago or something.
Oh, it's gonna cost a lot more than that.
I'll pay you the rest when we get back.
All right. So I'll say that conceals at least makes it so that there's not a giant Rena sitting there, but you all are still kind of around her. I'll say at this point, Zechariah and the rest do meet up with you. What do you guys want to do?
What were you casting anyways? I had entirely forgotten.
Oh, the spell still goes off. So
cool. Do I see anything? Please tell me I see
that's
something.
invisible?
Please. Was it worth it?
That's invisible?
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay.
There's nothing invisible
It's
here.
fine.
I actually might help you with that.
Oh.
I'll
Well, it lasts an hour, so as we start walking.
I'll touch Rena in an uncomplicated spot, and I'll use invisibility on you.
Oh.
Okay.
I think that might be more subtle than walking around as a giant. And you have something invisible to see.
Myself.
I can see myself.
I can
So
see
if
myself.
you'd like, you could drop the silent image, or you could leave it there to have kind of a giant being there.
I guess I'll let it go.
Okay.
But thank you, sister. That was very
That was
helpful.
quick
Thank you.
thinking.
I turned this silent image into a snow bunny. I mean, I casted it. Might as well use it.
Frederick!
Pops out the snow bunny hole
Frederick,
outside the
yes.
wall into the hole.
Exactly. So a lot of you start to make your way up to the tower at this point.
And
How would
tiptoeing.
you- Yep.
Even though it's probably going to sound like regular steps.
The camp is mostly distracted to this point. You make your way up, and you can see that it has a single entrance in the front. There are some small windows leading up to the top. The top is uncovered. There are 2 guards up at the top that you can see. They haven't spotted you yet, but you can see them. There are 2 torches by the front door. You presume that the prince is just beyond that door.
How high is the tower?
The tower is about, I would say, around 80 feet tall.
Okay.
What would y'all like to do?
2 guards at the top. No guards at the entrance to the tower?
No guards at the entrance, but there are 2 at the top.
And they haven't
Maybe
noticed
guards
us yet.
inside. There may be guards inside, but you haven't seen.
Wonder if we can try to distract the guards while Rena could sneak in.
Just about to say.
Yeah, I can whip up something.
Yes, my
Maybe-
sister is very good at distractions.
What would they enjoy
Snow bunnies.
seeing? Yes,
Snow
maybe
bunnies.
the snow bunny should pay them a visit.
All the snow. Yes, you get me.
Well, maybe I
Mara.
make them 3 snow bunnies actually.
I wonder if you should stay with Rena just to kind of keep her keep her
Fine.
safe.
I'll be fine. It's
'Cause-
how hard can it be?
I could make you invisible as well. And the
I can
2 of
also turn
you
invisible.
could sneak in.
while the snow bunnies also distract them. Yes,
Yes.
that sounds
Yeah.
How
like
many
a
more
good
people
plan.
can you make invisible?
Oh, Mara, make them dancing.
Yeah, so I'd like the snow. Actually, okay, so this is very elaborate and important. So the silent image, I can keep controlling it because it's concentration up to 10 minutes. So this is still a thing, and it can change because I'm an illusionist.
Excellent.
So I want it to be, yes, the snow bunny, no larger than a 15-foot cube. That's good. And I can put an image as well that becomes real, right? So it's carrying a real carrot. It's complete. It is non-eaten carrot. And I would like the snow bunny to donate the carrot to the guards.
So the snow bunny is appearing at the top of the tower, or
Giving them a snack.
at some.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's pretty fucking distracting. And now it's $5. I'm done.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I got it.
Penny in the curse jar.
In the curse jar.
That's pretty distracting if a snow bunny showed up at the top of the tower to give them a carrot. You are making, and who is going invisible? How many people are going to be invisible?
I will.
I'm already
You cast it on 1 person, yeah.
So we got 3 invisible folks. The rest
I
of you
can see them still.
visible. You can still see them.
Yay.
What are you doing next?
So, did the 2 guards look at are they looking at the bunny?
You would hear from up there, is that just Snow Bunny? And then you can see, and I'll say, yeah, you see the 2 guards kind of turn away as they immediately bend over, and you can hear up there, oh, look at this Snow Bunny. He's got a cat. How did you get that cat? How did you get up here? How did you get up here?
It's everything I ever wanted.
It drops the little carrot to their feet.
Oh,
It's a real carrot. It's like eatable. It tastes like a carrot.
Oh, you brought us a carrot. Do you see this? It's like, I think we should be watching down below. Do you see it? It's a real...
Okay, we're going.
All right. So, those of you who are not invisible, are you going with them? Or what are you doing?
So the guards are still in front of the door, right?
So they're up at the top of the tower. There's no guards in front of the door right now. So they're not looking down at you, down to try to find you anymore. So this area is free, so to speak.
Okay. So we can't see the bunny from where we're at.
No. The only one who can see it is Mara, because it's in the blind.
We're still dressed like the other guards, though, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the door and open it and check on it, and say I'm here to relieve the other guards if anybody's inside.
Oh, excellent. So you open up the door, and you would see that there are 2 guards on the other side of the door. You would, when you step in, Elliot, or at least look in, you see there are these 2 guards, and then you see just beyond them, in this sort of main antechamber of the tower, you see a spiral stair along the wall of the tower that leads to the top. But there aren't floors to this tower, really. There's little balconies where archers could stand and shoot out of the windows. But this main area in the base is really the only area. And you would see tied up in the back is Prince Wesley. You would also see kind of pacing around Prince Wesley is a mage that looks similar to the one from the forest. But this one is 8 feet tall and is a Goliath. And they are kind of you can't hear what they're saying, but they seem to be talking to the prince. But you look to the 2 guards, and you ask to relieve them. Give me a quick persuasion or performance check.
I'll assist Elliot in this attempt.
Let's go with persuasion.
So you have advantage because
I'm gonna
Zechariah is helping.
lean in. I'm gonna be the invisible voice behind Elliot's ear.
That's a
and
dirty
give
20.
Bardic inspiration, just in case for that D6.
Okay. What'd you get?
22 now because of the Bardic inspiration.
Good. All right. So these guards, you see, one of them looks to the other and is sort of confused, we are not supposed to be relieved until the morning. And then the other one's don't complain. If they're going to relieve us, we can go watch the fight. Did you hear? And all right. Well, be careful. We heard that there was some folks out in the woods, maybe. And they just sort of nod to you and sheathe their weapons and walk away as the 3 of you can assume their post.
Yes.
Nice.
Can we close
The rest
the
of
door?
us invisible folks.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll wait a very long time to close the door and just be like,
Yep.
Just you're watching,
I
getting
have
the
to,
last look at the fight.
Yeah.
I try to walk in and bump my head on the on the door.
It is very rough, this entrance, but you do make your way in. So the 3 of you are invisible. You step in and you can kind of fan out into the room. You would be able to hear the Goliath now, who is just sort of standing over the prince. You can see his kind of head down, especially for those of you who knew the prince, which is probably most of you. Rena, you didn't really know the prince that well. Especially for you, Ben, being his best friend. He looks in shambles. He looks much thinner than the last time you saw him. The normal clean-shaven face is now kind of patchy with his his facial hair. The hair that is normally well groomed and kept swept back and proper is now hanging and covering half of his face, wet and matted down and muddy, caked with mud. He has bruises across his face, a busted lip. He is sort of tied up and sort of just his head bowed down as the Goliath is kind of walking back around. Yeah.
I am actually not in there because I was the only one not seamed nor invisible, so I'm still standing outside.
That's true. That's
Oh.
true. All right.
Hidden from
Yeah.
potential sight.
Definitely. All right. So the Goliath is sort of looking down at the prince. Your mother is dead. Your kingdom is going to be in ruins. This war is almost over, Prince. You should give in now. We can make use of placing you on the throne as a Jarl. Oxlin will become part of Sivia, and the valley will be ours. Yield. You see the prince just sort of slowly lifting their head, just kind of. And why should I trust you after all of this? What would you all like to do?
When we come in and shut the door, I want to rifle through my bag and get out this jar of like putty, and I'll take a scoop of it and rub it on the door and cast Arcane Lock.
Nice.
Okay.
I want to do something really chaotic, but I want to give other people a chance to do something first if they want to.
Oh, I can do something. I got an idea. I was looking through my spell, sorry. Okay, we'll try. So there's just one guy in the room, right? That looks like a wizard talking to the prince, which is our buddy that we want to save, right?
Correct.
Just making sure I got things right.
Yes, because your allies are the guards in the room.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. All right, I will try to cast Mental Prison on the wizard. Probably won't work. I don't know. We'll try anyway. Because intelligence saving throw on a wizard is a little bit dumb. It's okay. And I would like to use my luck.
Yes.
Because I have the feat luck. So now I feel a little bit less dumb. I will use lucky on it as well. So I think I have 2 d20s to roll, and then I choose which one I want to use. So I will use lucky.
Very nice.
Now I feel better. And I will cast Mental Prison. So I clicked it, but I think I need you to do an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
DC. Oh, can I use my luck on him?
You can.
Okay, so I do. So he rolls twice and picks the lowest.
The lower.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the DC?
18.
18. Wow. Very lucky.
Is he in prison?
Yes.
Yes.
They rolled 19 and a 7.
Oh, very nice.
So
well done.
Good thing you used your luck. Okay, so what does mental prison do exactly?
Never did it before. Let me pull up the description. You attempt to bind the wizard with an illusionary cell that only he perceives. One creature you can see within range must make the saving throw, blah, blah, blah. If it succeeds, it's immune, but it didn't succeed, so he takes 5d10 psychic damage. On a successful save, so that's if he saved, he would get that. On a failed save, he gets 5d10 psychic damage, and you make the area immediately around the target's space appear dangerous in some way. You might cause the target to perceive itself as being surrounded by fire. Floating razors. Hideous maws filled with dripping teeth. We'll take that one.
Clearly that one.
So you-
Clearly that one.
Clown mouths.
Clown mouths.
Yeah, you get to choose what
Yep.
prison looks like.
And the target cannot see or hear anything beyond it and is restrained for the spell's duration, which is up to 1 minute. If the target is moved out of the illusion, makes a melee attack through it, or reaches any part of its body through it, it takes 10d10 psychic damage and the spell ends.
Ooh.
Okay,
All
so
right.
I think he can break it, but
But
he
it's
will
a
then
lot of
take
damage.
10d10
He'll take
damage.
a bunch
yeah.
of damage.
That's
All
a
right.
lot for a wizard to take.
Yeah.
All right, time to leave, my prince.
Yeah, and as this is happening, Aether will be moving
Yeah.
across the room straight to the prince
Me
and
too.
sort of bending down and cutting the bonds. It is
And
okay,
I can
Prince.
pick him up.
Yeah. So
You're ready to go.
As this is, I'll kind of paint the scene as this all happens. You, I guess you wouldn't be able to see Rena, but she's just itching to do something. But thankfully, her sister jumps in, and I imagine for Zechariah and Elliot and Rufrick, it's sort of this tension because you can't see your allies, and you're kind of need to play the role until they make a move. So you're just like, oh, this job better pay well. We didn't talk about money. Oh no.
I've already got my cut.
That's true. As suddenly you would see in that conversation the prince was having, where he asked the wizard, why should I trust you? You see the wizard kind of leans forward, kind of on their staff, and just says, because I am your only option. And then suddenly Mara appears, and you see kind of like the flash of the magic leave, and then suddenly you see this wizard just sort of like, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do? As you don't see it, but this, what does the wizard see all around them that is mentally imprisoning them?
Crap, it was a thing I read. I would never
the
have come
maws-
up with it. Yes, the
maws-
hideous maws filled with dripping teeth.
So these horrifying clown grins with dripping fangs
Yes.
surround this wizard who takes the damage and is just sort of like grasping at their head, and you can hear them like screaming. So that's definitely loud. So at that point, Aether, you've ventured across and you reveal yourself to the prince. You say your line. You start to cut the bonds. And he seems overjoyed. It's about time, Aether. And he's just overwhelmed. And as soon as his arms are free, he goes in for a hug around you.
Aww.
Aether is like still invisible, but like a little awkwardly uncomfortable. No one can see it except for Rena.
Yeah. I can carry him and he will be invisible. That's not the accent. I can carry him and he'd be invisible, right?
Oh, because you're large.
Hmm?
Well, no, by this point you're not large anymore.
Aww.
Only lasts a minute.
Aw.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I can still try and fail.
Mechanics don't work that way.
Yeah. Never mind.
All right. So what are y'all doing? This guy is only in prison for another minute.
Let's go.
Oh, we need to leave. Yes.
If I hold his hand, will he be invisible?
All right. So you take the prince and you all start to leave out of the tower. As you're leaving, do you just run out and try to make your way for the snow bunny hole?
I'm gonna just quickly cast Death Ward on the prince. as we
Nice.
move out.
Nice.
I'm gonna break my invisibility and cast mirror image upon myself.
Cool.
Right. Excellent.
Are they still all watching the arm wrestling in the middle?
I hope so.
You'll find out once you go outside. Is there
Okay.
anything else anyone does before you go running out?
Yeah, I will break invisibility and cast mage armor.
Any
Gonna make sure I have my sword and shield at the ready
yeah.
before we walk out the door.
And when you run out, are you guys just gonna make it, run for it?
Beeline.
No.
Ben is still outside, right?
Yeah. Well, Ben would. You could go in at this point because you would hear the screams and assume there's something going on.
I suggest you move out like everything is normal and no one will see the prince leave. I'll meet you outside by the trees, and Ben will just run up to Wesley and hug him because 2 months, that's a terrible time, and squeeze him, and it's all gonna be all right. And then I'm gonna cast Dimension Door and bring us
Nice.
500
Yes.
feet outside into
Yes.
the forest.
Excellent.
I was like, as soon as you were like, not so fast. I was like, it's Dimension Door. It's got to be.
Very nice.
All right. So you watch as Ben comes running in, embraces his closest friend, and then they just. Boop. It's cooler than that. As he says, "I'll meet you. I'll meet you outside." You watch almost like you just see this portal just sort of, and they just sort of almost fall backwards into it, and then it closes up, and they are gone.
I feel like this is the
very
kind
nice.
of thing that Aether, who always has like a plan, probably discussed with Ben at some point, and just like sort of knows the point where they're going to meet Ben.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. So the rest of you are going to try to walk out casually.
Yep.
All right. So marching order as you're walking out.
I'll go first.
I'll be on the front line. So
I'll be on the-
second or alongside Elliot.
Okay.
In the towards the back.
Yeah, I'll take up the rear guard.
I will be somewhere in the middle-ish.
Okay. Mostly need to know who's up front. So we got Rufrick up front, and Elliot, were you up front?
Yes.
All right. So Rufrick and Elliot, when you step out, the guards up top immediately yell down to you. What's going on down there? We heard screams. Is the warden okay? What is going on?
I have the actor feat. Question.
Maybe answer.
Can I yell up in the bit of Warden's voice that I overheard?
Nice.
I don't know what it was, but it is all okay. The prince just is in pain. Ignore him.
Nice.
So I will need you to give me a deception check. I'm gonna say disadvantage because it wasn't a full minute that you observed them talking.
Yep. So 2 15s.
Nice.
So that's 29. I'm very good at my job.
14th level. So you all hear, and you're like, that doesn't sound quite right, but because they're 80 feet up, it works with them. And you see the one who's looking down is like, all right, if you need us, let us know. And the other one's like, get back over here, the bunny. Look, it's dancing. All right, well, good night.
Well done.
And I'll just like gesture for the other folks, be like, go.
Yeah, and at that point, you all are speed walking out of there, and I need not Ella. That's your other wild magic source.
That's my other wild magic source.
Rena, I need you to give me a D100 because we got a donated wild magic surge.
Oh.
just fireball the tower behind you.
All right. That's a 40. Oh, well, I regained 2d10 hit points, but I haven't taken any damage.
You guys lucked out. Because if that was anything else, you'd be running away from
One off from the potted plant.
Oh, can you imagine you're running and then just I wish. All right, so you are moving quietly but quickly through. You move through the bunny portal out into the opening. By this point, you can see some of the guards have leached off from the walls to watch the arm wrestling, which is still going on. Because it's no longer arm wrestling, it has now turned into a full-blown fist fight between these two giants.
Nice.
As you see them just sort of wailing on each other, and you see there's two giants that kind of you pass by and like, I always thought that he was a bit too aggressive. As you pass underway, it's like, it's toxic masculinity and frustrating. I really think that we need to sit down with him and have a conversation. I agree. I think tomorrow morning,
Gotta get counseling.
Can we recruit these two?
You make your way through. You as soon as you're out of the walls, you start to rush across the snow, and eventually you skitter across and you enter into the forest line where you do find Ben and Prince Wesley alive. Yeah, because they were. As you can see, the prince is. The prince. It's where you meant to meet up with them. You see the prince is sort of just sitting there, kind of catching his breath. Tending to him and Ben are tending to any wounds he has. So he just sort of looks up to you all and says, you all who I have to thank for this. You see Captain Cooper goes up. Yep, they ain't pretty, but did your job right. I can't thank you enough. This has been the darkest months of my life. And still, these are the darkest times, but it's a bit brighter now. All right, what are you all doing? Just booking out of there?
Booking out of there. We got to beat the dark.
That's true.
Yep.
Gotta beat the
Before we
cold.
leave the section, I will sort of walk over to the prince and pull out a dragon chess piece. The king just sort of put it in his hands.
Oh.
We are ready for you, my liege.
Sort of as Aether and Ben help the prince up, you all start to get the hell out of there. As you're moving through the darkness of the night, you would notice about a couple 100 feet away from you a frost giant running through the forest back to the garrison.
I was a bunny.
I
But
love you, Frederick.
I swear, I was so small and fluffy, just like this guy with the carrots.
and you go as far as you can on this night before you're exhausted. You find yourselves several miles away from this camp. Captain Cooper, just sort of looks to you all and says, yeah, well, once they find the prince is gone, we'll have the entire army from Firsala coming after us. We better get moving as soon as we wake up tomorrow.
Yes, after sleeping in the tiny hut.
My sister is very particular about a tiny hut.
Yes.
Thank
need
the
to
gods for this hut. I have been ranging these parts for 12 years, and this is the nicest accommodations I've ever had. So, you camp out for the night in the tiny hut. Since we're approaching close to our end time, we'll kind of just talk through your journey back. We got another wild magic.
Did we? Oh my god.
I have a moment. All right. So you, over the next, because it is a long journey back, over the next few months, or not a few months, few weeks, you move through the wilds, every now and then hearing the beating of drums in the distance and horns, the sounds that you know to be the Firsalan army tracking you. You're moving through, it's much harsher. You get finally to the edge of the moors, the swamplands, and you are heading towards a rendezvous point in the town of Grimstad to get a boat there to head downriver. You're moving through these lands when eventually you find yourselves in front of a large patch of frozen water. The cliffs are surrounding it and is your only way through. You need to carefully move across this uncertain body of water.
How far across is it?
It's about 200 feet.
I'll smile. I'll activate my wing boots, and I'll say one at a time.
Excellent. Who's going first?
I will cast fly on myself at since I didn't get to use it at 7th level, and I can carry people, or I can cast it on how many people? 4th level or higher. Target one additional creature for each slot above 3rd. So I can do 4, 5, 6, 7. I can cast it on 4 people, including myself, or me plus 4 people.
You plus 4, I'll say.
Cool.
That's perfect because I will dimension door with the prince.
Excellent. Prince is automatically on the other side. The rest of you, I think that catches everyone. So you start to fly over. Could you give me a wild magic roll?
I knew it was coming.
Flying potted plant.
No. Oh, sorry. I rolled an 84. So each creature within 30 feet of you takes 1d10 necrotic damage. You regain hit points equal to the sum of the necrotic damage dealt. I didn't take any damage, so you're just going to go into the ethereal.
All right.
Sorry.
You all take 10 points of necrotic damage. And I imagine are upset with Rena right now.
Like, oh, come on!
I'm sorry. That was not intentional. I promise. Or maybe for you.
So you all make it across safely. The loud ruckus of kind of the damage you were dealt, all the damage that was dealt, and kind of you all moving over the top and maybe yelling at Rena. You're over safely and you start to move away when you hear kind of a rumbling in the ground. And back at the ice, you see it starts to split and crack all around it. As you see in the middle, it starts to bend upward, and then it just shatters open as you see this gargantuan worm fling itself out.
Oh, cool. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Go over, and you're like, that would have sucked.
That would have really sucked.
It's sort of like if you could to take a purple worm, but it has like this carapace of white scales on its back that has like this also similarly gray fur on it. Its mouth opens up with like 3 mandibles out, and it is massive. Like it would be able to eat you all in one bite, probably, if you guys were walking over that thing and freaked it out. So you successfully avoid the frostworm, as if you didn't avoid it, you just would have been running because we don't have time for you to fight a frostworm. But I'll just give you a peek at what else was potentially out there.
I mean, we're probably still running because it's still a frost.
Yeah, you're still running.
It's still a frost.
We're all flying at this point.
Yeah. We're flying really fast.
I think as we're going, I'm going to need to use the deck of many things, though. At least once.
Oh, no.
Yeah, might as well. We only got 10 minutes left. So.
Yeah, I think I need to use it.
Just for the hell of it. Let's pull it.
So how is it used? It says to pick a real deck of cards. Oh, that's wild.
You can roll a d52.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. Oh no, I wasn't prepared. All right, just keep talking. I'll do it back.
All right, so I'll just talk through kind of the epilogue here. You guys have made it through the cold, dark north. You were successfully able to infiltrate. Minimal deaths, minimal destruction, some laughs along the way. But you make this last journey. You get to the small town of Grimstad. It is a Civian town. You spend only a few hours there before trying to get out as quickly as possible to avoid being captured. There's a point there where you're just sort of collecting your things, and you have this moment where you're just seeing all the people here. Cold, scared, just people who are part of this community up here. You even see some local soldiers come in at some point. At this point, you're tensely hiding yourselves, but you see them relaxing, enjoying drinks. And before long, you get your raft and your barge, and you start to make your way towards Moorbridge, your rendezvous point in the border between Oxlin and Sivia. You're making your way through, and you feel kind of the crisp, cool air, and it's about a week out from, maybe half a week out from Oxlin, when you sort of start to feel the cold clinging to your flesh as you see kind of the end of the sun dissipate behind the now black star in the sky, as even in the brightest hour of the day, it is now dusk and dark and gloomy, as frost clings to your hair, your skin, everywhere. And in that dim light, you see at the mouth of the river where it meets the Great Cern River, you see Moorbridge in the distance. Home, safety, success. This entire time, you've been discussing what happened with Prince Wesley, discussing the future, discussing his coronation, remembering his mother. You bring him back successfully, and you feel that sense of relief as your raft passes underneath the giant bridge that connects the fortresses of Moorbridge. And in that moment, you know everything is behind you. And even if the army came rushing towards you, these walls stand between you and them, and the prince is safe. And you have succeeded. Good job.
Well done, team.
Months later, the war has concluded. The Civians have surrendered to Oxlin, and the prince is preparing to become the emperor. Sort of thinking of the people who rescued him, his journey back with all of you, thinking of the rambunctious Rena, the wise and swift Aether, his beloved companion, Ben, the ingenuity of Elliot, the devotion of Zechariah, the wit and quick thinking of Mara, and the ingeniousness of Rufric. He takes and internalizes all of this to rule his kingdom, and to take his mother's legacy and rebuild something better out of it, to heal the wounds of this war. And we'll end with a big bang as the world ends, as Mara pulls a card from...
Yeah, I'll tell you what happens. So I pulled a Jack of Spades, which is Rogue, and Rogue means a non-player character of the DM's choice become hostiles toward you. The identity of your new enemy isn't known until the NPC or someone else reveals it. Nothing less than a wish spell or a divine intervention can end the NPC's hostility towards you. So,
oh my god!
So as you all go under the bridge and the future is before you, these sons of bitches. And he just sips the drink that he never had, that I always sip, and he puts on frame. It's supposed to be as you all, as as Prince Wesley is praising you all. Statues of you are being commissioned. You are the saviors of Oxland. Captain Cooper
Has a pipe now.
I'm gonna kill every last one of them. That, my friends, is where we will call this adventure. Thank you so much, all of the players, for having a great time, for the laughs, for the enjoyment of company, and the good vibes going all around. What we did tonight, what we enjoyed tonight, was exactly what Jasper's Game Day is all about. You never need to roll initiative alone. People are there for you. This community is there for you. And we appreciate all the donations, all the fun, all the wild magic. Before we let you all go, why don't you all tell us where we can find you? And yeah, so let's start off with, I'll just go by the Zoom call. Shannon, why don't you go first?
Sure. Hi, everybody. This was so much fun. Thank you, Sean, for another amazing adventure in Aradoon. You can find me on Twitter at sroby25. You can also find me over at Paradise RPG with Sean. We play on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're coming up on our season finale on Monday, so we'd love to have you all. And thank you to this awesome crew. Way to go.
Thank you, Shannon. Carl, why don't you go next?
My name is Carl Nelson. You can find me on Twitter at Carl Nelson. I don't stream anywhere yet, but I'm planning to get a game together sometime in the new year. But I did publish my first DMCL D&D adventure for Eberron. It is a Eberron train heist called Barreling Forward. It is some really amazing art by Aaron Radley. And yeah, so that is me. I had such a blast playing with you all. So
thank you very much, Carl. All right, Smitty.
You can find me on Twitter at PBSmitty. You can also find me in the next game, which apparently I also got into, so I will be jumping right into that after a quick bathroom break. And you can usually find me Tuesday nights on the Geek Attack stream. We are switching homes from the Thread Raiders channel to a new channel soon, TBD. So stay tuned to our at Geek Attack Twitter handle for our new home location.
Excellent. Jared.
Yeah, so I'm Jared. You can find me and my wife Caitlin on Twitter at Arcane Spectacle. We also have an Etsy shop, and we're kind of just around everywhere. We lurk in the Paradise RPG Twitch channel quite a bit, and others. And yeah, thanks to Jasper's Game Day for setting us up and playing with all of you.
Excellent. Martin.
Well, you can find me on Twitter as at Wayward Sage. And I am also on the Tetragon stream on Thursday nights with Mr. Leeds. And thank you all. It was fantastic. It was amazing.
Lovely. And then Sean.
I actually don't stream or anything. You guys can find me lurking in the Discord if you want to chat.
Excellent. Great place to be. And Jen.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. Dungeon Master, fellow players, viewers, donators also. You can follow me at Live in Pink on Twitter and on Twitch. I stream every Tuesday, different games. And next Saturday, I will be playing Pawns and Patreons, which is a Dungeon Crawl Classics campaign with some of my friends that I've been playing with forever. It's a really fun show, so I encourage you to tune in next Saturday for some lovely chaos. Over there's not bunnies, but there's frogs. So
always love the critters.
Yeah,
Bunnies of the swamp.
Bunnies of the swamp. And I am Sean O'Donovan. You can find me anywhere on social media at Odo_Sean, SEAN. I am the Dungeon Master over at our flagship show of Paradise that Shannon mentioned, Paradise RPG. We stream every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are coming upon the season finale for our first season of our flagship show. We will be back with season 2 on the 15th of February, but we'll have plenty of programming between then and now. this has been a blast, a blessing, an amazing time with all of you and with the Jasper's Game Day team. I hope that you all continue watching the next show and more shows to come, and keep supporting this great cause. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely evening. You never have to roll initiative alone.